Sorry, hab noch einen Tee gemacht.
By D+. So
Humor.
if you ban Rumble here,
Brock ist lange für den 13. und Stein für
they
den
will
25.
pick
Finale.
Rise, and it is
Ja,
very
mein.
powerful. That's why first pick is so strong early in the series. And I don't think there's really any
So, was haben wir offen?
pick here in my mind.
Nee, ist raus.
Clears Renekton or something like that.
Besser ist raus. Yunara?
Player specific.
Muss Yunara sein, oder nicht?
Let's see what D+'s answer is. The Cassiopeia from Showmaker last time around looked pretty good.
Muss Yunara sein, right?
Maybe that is what they are looking to reply.
Oh, Rice Yunara?
That's why there's some consideration about clears Renekton. Instead, Ash.
Okay.
Ash Seraphine is on the board, but at least one half of it.
It's very strong. You know, a lot of priority and Drake stacking. It's
Ja, Patchpunkt 3, okay, also.
Ash Seraphine has really risen.
Hammer ist raus. Und Junge ist raus.
Dominant bottom lane, so they say, yeah, Ryze is strong, but you know what's even better is Ash Seraphine.
We saw Keria try to pull out the Yuumi himself as the answer.
Ja, aber Junge kam halt raus.
Now, because it was played and fearlessly banned.
Yeah, Zero Yuumi.
And so now,
Wukong.
the response is going to be is Wukong
Wukong Rice finde ich zum Beispiel nicht geil.
through Ash Seraphine. But the cool thing about Ash first pick here is if they can't deny the Seraphine, which I suppose there's a lane they could come up with here. You know, we've seen like Senna Seraphine in the past.
Du musst halt Korkinami oder sowas gehen, ne? Korkinami, Lucianami.
At all. It has been
Alle
changed
flexen.
significantly since then. As they're going
Ziggs.
for the Ziggs. Now you can get Mundo at Ash Seraphine, which is the Giga Trio for this setup. And it works incredibly well into
Ja, Mundo Seraphine ist guter Call.
here. You
Gib mir ein bisschen hier für DK. Aber jetzt nicht so super hart flavored, aber ja.
Not to. I think
Muss nichts Midlane sein, ja. Oder sie antworten den Bot dann halt als
should be just fine.
quasi, wir stellen ihn da unten Botlane und dann passt das. Hat mit ihm geklappt, nein.
But
Mundo's just so good into
Leider
Ziggs
nichts.
because he just doesn't care about the burst damage.
I mean, you could like maybe go for, you know, the Ryze we were talking about. So they are going to go for that. There were also like other top tier junglers that maybe you consider just because of their.
Problem ist sowohl.
We're just going to go for the Ryze instead.
If B&K somehow get, because they also
Also sowohl Cassio als auch Nivea finde ich nicht so geil hier. Das ist das Problem.
so difficult to play for me for D+. This will make it a little bit easier as they do have strong engage. They could have gone for the Rakan. Poppy is banned, you know, but again, I think this Nautilus pick gives you so much engage, so much lockdown, but it's still a melee, right? And
yeah,
I
Nicht
like
100%
it
sold.
in some regards, right? But there are two real threats here already, and you're playing into the Seraphine, so it's going to be tricky. But now, like, Mundo, Sejuani, Renekton.
Nicht zu 100% sold.
This is a problem that they were going to have to face. They're not going to be able to ban all of these. So let's see what the game plan is going to be here for D+. This second pick is not looking great so far.
yeah. Mundo's pretty obvious. You know, you passed over that for the Ryze.
Kein Damage bisher.
And you feel pretty good to get the Ryze, but you don't get Mundo. And I do worry for career in this game. Playing in that bottom lane, Smash should be okay on the Ziggs. And he has some wave clear. I do worry about early dives as well, though. If Raptor gets like an aggressive jungle and they can look for dives, especially once Vikla hits 6 on the Ryze, I think that bottom lane could absolutely be terrorized.
Cassiopeia is so
Ja, Cassio und dann Nivea werden sie bannen, aber
damage, and it's the Ryze counter.
was mit Lux als Sniping mit Seraphine?
Sin gets taken away.
Ja, ich weiß nicht. Das Problem ist halt wirklich diese Interaktion, nicht mal unbedingt eine der beiden Champions, sondern die Interaktion.
In that top lane
Weiß nicht.
and works really well with Ash Seraphine. So surprised to see the Lee Sin here instead. I mentioned it all the way back with that Poppy ban that it was going to be up in stocks, but the ban is pretty crazy. As we'll see what this final ban could be here. If you're playing Victor in this draft as D+, you are real desperate. I don't think
War Cassie Giants nicht gestern?
this Olaf ban makes a lot more sense to me.
Nice.
Because it is one of the only picks that can just run through that CC and get access no matter what to then allow the Ziggs to follow up, the Wukong to follow up. The Yone will be taken away. It was something I think Clear could have actually played in this draft if they went the Sejuani route. But this is so greedy. You're playing this into the Ash Seraphine.
Yeah, and into Ryze, which you're just going to get bullied early
Weiß ich
on.
nicht.
Obviously has... It's Yone for Showmaker.
Weiß ich nicht.
Like he can make some big plays later on, but early on, I think DK are just, again, like,
Actually
what do they
against the
do?
wall.
Weiß ich nicht.
What do they do?
This is more than game one. I feel such a draft that's grasping at straws for D+. We got a huge cheer in the crowd when Showmaker's Yone is locked. The crowd is ready to see what
Renekton blind mit 2 Bans. Ne, ein Ban. Nas raus.
Knew it was coming, and I think D+ did as well. They have the counter pick. They picked second pick. But I think getting the counter pick for the Renekton in the face of everything else that's in this draft just feels real rough. And they'll take the Trundle instead.
Guter Roundout. Angeschlafen, nope, war horrible. Also.
That's pretty strong here, obviously, into this draft, and it messes up a lot of what E+ Kia are trying
Also,
to
BFX Core, das deutlich besser.
Yeah, maybe you get counter pick, maybe you get something like Kennen. You know, there's not a lot of great options for counter picks into Renekton, who's generally blind pickable. And maybe you could go for like Aurora or something.
Gwen actually, I do feel is quite strong. The Aurora you mentioned is what they opt for.
Yeah.
Shiu has mastery of both, and so both options feel.
Rettet die Aurora das?
Damage output. The Aurora damage output is.
Rettet die Aurora das? I don't know.
The comp in that theme where you're looking for the Ziggs bomb, you're looking for the ult that you get dropped here between worlds from Shiu, and then he drops the weirding, and he's doing massive amounts of damage to anyone.
Kannst du einschätzen?
Side, and then the Yone follows up, sets it all up.
Rettet die Aurora das? I don't know.
The problem is Seraphine's just kind of looking at everyone running towards you in those types of choke points and those types of narrow engages that you're looking for, and she loves that. Yeah. That's where she thrives. A pillar is looking at that the same way. Oh, you're also trying to funnel to this one choke point to set up a really nice combo. It'd be a shame if there was.
BFX Draft ist schon stark, aber der DK Draft ist auch nicht schwach, by the way.
Well, you know.
Ehrlich, dieser DK Draft, also der Last Pick Aurora hat so ein bisschen gerettet, glaube ich. Der Aurora Last Pick hat so ein bisschen gerettet, glaube ich.
I think the drafts kind of handicapped you in the first couple of games. He said that about himself playing up against T1. So, you know, I think you and I are kind of.
Wie Physik Games hat Smash, das weiß ich nicht.
BK's drafting has just been a little bit better. They have more obvious team composition, identities, and stuff like that. Whereas DK, you know, they have ways to win, sure, but just doesn't feel like they're getting very many edges here in the draft compared to BNK. So a lot on the line. They don't want to fall behind 0-2 again, but we'll see if that indeed happens as we hop onto the rip for game number 2. I was waiting. I think I heard some fighting cheers.
They're gonna have to discuss it before.
Das Smash gegen erst Seraphin das Spiel spielen ab Level 5.
The grand finals tomorrow.
Level 5 plus Lost Chapter, I guess.
Like 2 people just randomly do a little like drawing of seats. Like you just pick 2 seats. Whoever's sitting in those seats has to yell. Doesn't matter how tired or shy they are, or if they're like lost their voice yelling during today's games. They're the ones.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if they're the fan of the other team. Too bad you got designated.
Well, maybe the casters themselves could do it.
Yeah, maybe you and I could do it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not putting that pressure on us.
We could do it.
They can't really hear us that well.
So, especially early on, like, yes, Ziggs can clear waves and stuff, but, like, not that well early on. And you have a Nautilus, so you just die.
Yeah, no, it's the thing is your support can't shoot far. That's the thing.
Can't shoot at all.
That's the thing. He can't hit from range.
Guckt. Also, Lane obviously ist guckt. Wie gesagt, das ist hier ein, wir retten uns bis zum Lost Chapter. Wenn wir es irgendwie hinkriegen, sind wir fein. Irgendwie bis Lost Chapter retten.
He will choose not to do so for obvious reasons. If level 2 gets hit by Smash and Career sets up a hook and they satchel into turret, that is the only way you can really hope for anything to happen in this matchup. Instead, you will then, if you don't have that, if you don't have those angles, which you are unlikely to have, you will just be sitting under turret and being glad that you went for a teleport on this Ziggs, because you're going to need to use it.
Fans very hype about the Yone for Showmaker, but especially early on can be very difficult to deal with.
Ja, der Draft ist.
Was the range advantage. You see that the bottom lane, the Ziggs would teleport. You know, again, I was mentioning mainly that early on it's going to be difficult, but you get teleport, you can get back, and essentially Career's job is stand there and hit his shield and try to block damage for the Ziggs. As Clear's going to go in on a trade, there's a big wave behind him, but he wants to kill. Gonna go through this entire.
Kein W auf Shibu.
Gets the heal from the wave as well. That's really well played there from Clear. That's how you want to play this one. Didn't have the empowered Q, but it's still a big one, and now has this wave here he can hit again.
He lost all the minions under turret, though, so it's a good trade, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be catching up in that CS number very well.
Lucid's also coming up here. Pretty interesting. I think he expects Clear wants to go for another all-in, perhaps.
Ja, sieht ja nach einem Flashcamp vom Renekton aus, ne? Also der Read hier ist, glaube ich, kein verkehrter.
Not going to happen, though, as Clear's just... He's too low himself, I think, to actually try to make that type of play.
Yeah.
But Lucid is still just prepared for that possible eventuality.
So Raptor hanging around the bottom side of the map. And Vikla level 4 though. So I feel like it's still a little bit early if you're going to look for dives. And in fact, Smash and Career have been able to push out the waves. So not in danger of that right now. Showmaker got a very good trade in mid though.
Yeah, and ultimately, if you look at the CS between the top laners on this crashing wave here, it's not too.
I mean, das ist ein fetter Lead, ja, das ist natürlich ein fetter Lead, aber das Matchup soll auch so sein.
That is very difficult to play out early on. This is, again, arguably some would say Clear's best champion. I think I might be in the sum. I like it alongside his Gnar. His Rumble has been one of his best on his best days, obviously.
Rumble's not a champion anymore, actually. Well, because it gets banned every single game.
Yeah.
So don't have to worry about that. Maybe in game 5 or game 4. If they
Really ernst, was meinst du, in Solo-Queue oder meinst du in Cast?
Difficult and dangerous to leave
Ob die Series hier muss ein bisschen wach werden.
Does have pretty hefty wave to catch here, which would
Die Series muss ein bisschen wach werden. Solo-Queue.
Could do so.
He's doing a really good job in this lane. You know, I was expecting him to have a lot more trouble than this.
As we watch him miss quite a few of these under all that pressure, but like you said,
Wer weiß.
better than expected.
Trundle wieder stark. Ja, Trundle ist decent gegen die meisten Bruiser halt. Can hold his own.
Because your melee.
Botlane ist auch fein bisher die Lane.
So every time you try to play to your unbound soul, you're taking so much damage from minions. Smash has already used his teleport, and he is supportless. So Plate Gold is just raining upon Diablo and Kellen here early on.
Yeah, raining from the sky.
They're just sitting here saying, you know, it's raining outside a little bit here in Kowloon, and we're going to drop plate money on you as well, as Kellen does not quite connect there. Could have been a massive opportunity. Showmaker gets his Berserker's Greaves. That is a big spike for the early laning phase. Raptor, I don't think is going to be able to do anything here.
Da gibt es einen komischen Six-Bild. Ich weiß nicht, warum gehen die auf AD Carry? Einfach weil du einen Slot mehr hast? Das haben die letztes Jahr auch schon gemacht. Was dazu? Ja, also deine Drakes sind natürlich, erster Drake ist weg, klar. Sehr offensichtlich.
And he's a great skirmishing jungler early, so it's really difficult for Career and Smash to really make a play here. They cannot even enter.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they kind of want to do
Gott, das werden ja auch noch runtergegangen, das ist unangenehm.
It's just a smite on the dragon. We got an ult on a Vikla. As immediately Showmaker is forcing Vikla out of this one. Flash forward and down will go Vikla. Just like that, Showmaker warping the game around his Yone.
Just like he did in game 1. And it's a very similar situation where Vikla uses his flash late. After his demise is almost certain, as Raptor was trying to come over, but was once again busy on the dragon. It's 2 games in a row. He had the same scenario here. Also commits his ghost, so
Plus kein Flash mehr.
Big win for Showmaker in this mid lane.
Showmaker's just not missing Q3s. And the same thing happens here in this replay.
Das hier ist noch Engel. Gut.
Just on the edge of it, turns it into the ultimate, and Vikla is dead. Vikla opts, though, to flash and ghost when Lucid is right there. And Raptor had it. I think he was a little bit tunneled there. Either way.
Ja, Game 1, honestly, ziemlich überpart.
Feels a little bit less now.
Ich glaube, die Kette ein Window, auf dem sie hätten stabilisieren können, aber die haben dafür stattdessen gefightet. Und dann ist GG.
Stage plays, but to us, who are feeling a little bit more calm than him right now, it just feels like he's being a bit over.
Das Yon Rice Matchup nicht gut. Ich weiß nicht.
You know, it can pan out well if you do end up making.
Nächste Wand und Flash drüber. Ich glaube, er hat nicht auf den Wukong geachtet. Wahrscheinlich. Ich glaube, der Jungle-Position nicht drauf geachtet.
Now he's ahead in gold. He's tied up the CS essentially, and having that rise power is going to be significantly delayed. And the Yone can do stuff, as we do have some pressure in top lane. Clear. Gonna zag back and forth, even flashes away. Career kind of reconsidering it, but is gonna go in with the.
Ich wollte gerade sagen, warum läufst du weg? Schöner Play.
And will pick up the kill here for Xiu.
Huge win for Career, playing so confidently on this Nautilus pick again. Hits the dredge line. Renekton's hurt box is quite large. The dredge line also can be pretty easy to hit on a target like this. It has a pretty big hitbox itself, but for Clear here, this is pretty early because he wants to go to base. Unfortunately, it's still slowed here by the ultimate from Xiu, and then Career.
Ich glaube, deswegen hat er es nicht geht, ne? Weil er da wahrscheinlich nicht dachte, dass hier geslowt wird durch MTK. Oh.
This really good timing here from Career, and they've been judging the aggression from Clear very well.
Ich habe gerade WhatsApp gelesen. Heute und morgen ist Katastrophe bei mir. Weil, also heute und morgen ist bis um 2 oder sowas. am Montagabend. Wie schaut's bei dir da aus?
Top lane has helped out DK a lot, and also I feel like DK are just playing
So 21 Uhr.
so far.
Bin noch 2 Wochen daheim für den Safers. Montag haben wir. Geilo.
You know, you got
Geilo.
plays from Showmaker, you
War
got
gemeint so mehr von BFX, ja.
from Career with the great roam timing up to top lane. That's how you're going to win with a comp like this. And yeah, you know, some of those draft issues will still be there, like the Seraphine and the Trundle into so much aggression. But,
Wollen wir mal kuscheln?
you know, if you get ahead, maybe you can warp the game around yourselves.
I definitely am picking up what you're putting down. And I do look at this. Okay, Smash, let's see. He's fine.
Stärke von Six halt, ne? Also Raptor Career muss hier erstmal nicht sein. Schon gut.
Is pretty tough to play out. He is massively
schon sehr gut.
in terms of farm, and he wants to defend these plates. There's a lot of factors to consider here. I think for Clear, that was a really nice play from Career, and she helps set it up. I definitely feel less bad about that one. For Vikla, it kind of felt like he had the blinders on a little bit with his overextension there, and then the commitment of the summoner spells. Gonna have to tighten that up a little bit, but still, even with this gold deficit, composition-wise, BNK feeling...
Mal sehen, Scaling-wise ist eine Seraphine immer noch ein Monster.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with this Trundle taking the jungle away from Lucid as well, because this Prio on the bottom side is so oppressive.
Yeah.
They can walk
Morgen,
up
James.
to Wolves and say, I mean, are you interested in contesting this? Let's find out.
Now, there's the smite. And Raptor still a subjugate.
Look, that no flash up.
I think he's totally safe. Like, he's
He
just
does
going to
not
use
care.
it. There we get the charm onto the Nautilus in the bot lane, by the way. It looks like he is okay. And it's actually Lucid who's in trouble. Although Vikla kind of goes over to the right side, maybe fooling them with the clone a little bit there. And Lucid...
Du brauchst die Rechte. Ja, du darfst nicht einfach on-stream die Sachen zeigen, ja.
There, and for Lucid's sake, he's definitely very happy with the result. Like you mentioned, the charm did go down here in the bottom lane. With these summoners down, actually, or these ultimates down, it's a lot more comfortable for Smash, but he has to be careful still.
Yeah, Smash walking up in a melee, well, into range of Ashe autos is not what you want to
Nice.
see. He needs to be sitting back, clearing the waves, like he can.
Die besagten Rechte. Wow, du musst Kontakt haben, im Normalfall.
Take away some of that pressure from the Ashe Seraphine, but instead he
Also für LCK zum Beispiel ist es basically impossible, weil du da angefragt werden musst.
This is going to be annoying to deal with, but nothing too consequential. They had the ult advantages, but neither of those ult
Primary Lore Diffs könntest du theoretisch einfach so bekommen, glaube ich. Aber
for example, if they were trying to dive,
ich glaube, Primary kannst du einfach so bekommen.
when you hold the Ashe and the Seraphine in place with the Nautilus ultimate, Ziggs is like, if I already pressed my buttons, you know, he gets one empowered auto, but
Der
he's not
LCK ist,
really
glaube ich,
carry, so
LCK zu bekommen ist sehr...
And I think he was still playing as if he was an AD carry and not an
Yeah.
awesome dude, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And they ended up getting pretty punished there. Now, neither of these bottom layers had to expend critical summoners after that. And the cleanse is still up for career here with the unsealed spellbook with the swap there, and Smash.
Und ja, ansonsten halt, wie gesagt, Lord hier Priming und so weiter kannst du, glaube ich, einfach machen. Oder einfach anfragen und du bekommst, glaube ich.
Whereas Smash is TP, and they're actually just going to get a hook here onto the Seraphine. Kellen, no encore. He might just have to flash the wall, and there it is. Showmaker.
Kommt er hin? Nee. Ich wollte gerade sagen, E-Ulti.
Ult on in, but
That could just be Dragon here for D+. I think it likely will be. And
yeah.
it was really good pressure applied there by the bottom duo. Like you mentioned, the TP is there for Smash. He's going to use it to come straight back to lane, so he can push this wave in and out.
Hextech again.
It is Hextech again. Now, Diablo has to make a tough call. Does he want to back here with low mana or stay? If he backs, he's going to lose.
Career.
Raptors coming in looking for a play.
Here we got the collapse coming
Oh,
in.
yeah.
Subjugate, not
Schöner Play.
time, and he flashes away.
Geilo.
Dies to Lucid.
Oh, Vikla ist... Wow. Rage Engage.
This kill, though. We'll see what
Vielleicht
happens
raus.
after that is he will flash the wall and get away.
Glaube ich, okay. Also, Gamestate sieht gut aus für DK, oder nicht?
To escape. But D+ are really starting to generate.
Werden auf Seiten auch gepistet nachher, außer die Laner sein richtig mit, also die brauchen quasi Renekton und Sion, ansonsten werden die, glaube ich, auf Seiten auch weggehonnert.
Utilizing the gold in a bad way, but he wanted to have it elsewhere. As this commitment was a bit bizarre to me because Vikla is so far away and you're playing into a Wukong. The subjugate was late. Diablo doesn't have mana and he was not in position to follow up. I think Raptor really just very ambitious with that one. Vikla is at least able to save it and get out here. He doesn't have teleport, so it's not the greatest for him, but at least he picks up some money and will maintain a gold lead now over Showmaker. This Ashe, though, is still the biggest problem for D+. And compositionally, if they can get further ahead here, maybe the burst will be enough to get through these Seraphine shields, and they may just not care about getting encored as they move forward with this Yone Wukong.
US International Layer is perverse, by the way.
He's the biggest gold lead here for D+. Has generated it through this lane alone. That early kill and the 30 CS advantage he has now, 35 CS, is pretty big. But let's see what happens when he joins team fights. Because right now he's also holding a bounty. Needs to play carefully.
Tabis auf dem Rise. Wann ist es? Müsste doch bald Box sogar fertig sein für Showmaker, oder nicht?
Playing much better League of Legends here in game number 2, especially compared to the first game we had. In this Ass Seraphine, yes, they're ahead, but not that far ahead. Not as far ahead as you would expect, as we have a committal here, and Career's just kind of getting left out to dry. As Showmaker's like, sorry, buddy, way more than I expected in this fight, and I'm just gonna ult this wall.
Also, wir haben kein Damage für den Rise, auf gar keinen Fall, wenn ich hier schon die Tabis sehe.
Pressure here in the bottom lane, though. Showmaker's not out yet.
Yeah, maybe I spoke too soon. He is gonna have to flash.
So he has the flash, his back is interrupted, he cannot farm this wave, the plates are going to get taken out here. Luden's coming down with his ult coming down as well, but Showmaker doesn't have his own. And Showmaker's hesitating to back, but I think he doesn't want to give this turret, but I'm not sure if he can make something of this, as Kellen's a bit isolated.
Pinguin down, oder? Wukong ultis ab. Schön. Nicht mal geultet. Sexy. Also hast du theoretisch noch den Wukong ulti ab für den Herald, den du aufhalten kannst, wenn du willst.
A lack of respect there from B&K, as now Career ghosting, just to show dominance.
Well, he
I
wanted
suppose.
to potentially grab Raptor here, but I don't think it's going to work.
Wir haben immer noch Wukong ulti, ja genau, nicht scared sein. Ich bin mir sicher.
Inserting dominance.
Play it slow.
Was spielt Herald?
Yeah. I see the pushes coming in, but bit of chunk damage here on a Showmaker is going to hit the Q3, but he's just unbinding his way out.
D+ have been so punishing this game. You know, every time you make an overextension or you make a mistake,
Er bekommt den nie One-Shot.
going to find you. They are going to say, well,
Auch wenn Rise, ich glaube, die verlieren Sidelane und ich glaube,
the advantage, but
und Progress machen auf Midlane ist schwierig.
gonna push you into
Und du spielst nicht One-Turn gegen Rise, du spielst Two-Turns und du outsustainst, naja, Blade plus Upgrade Berserkers, der outsustain ihn so hart auf Side.
first
Ich
break
spiele der Sideline, der outsustained hardcore.
in that
Und der Damage von Ion spiked exponentially.
gold injected into them, and that should even
Mit Items.
pretty much between these two squads. D+ are going to have this Herald, and I said this is going to be our first real major fight. But without ultimates here for B&K, they may just simply let it go. They're in position, but without the ults, it's difficult to actually fight.
Keine Ulti, by the way, keine Sums auf Wickler. Ich glaube, Wickler ist fucked, by the way. Ich bin mir sicher, Wickler ist gleich tot. Ich glaube, Wickler ist gleich tot. Nee, One-HP. Hier nochmal rein, Lucy hat eine Ulti. Wow, Full Flash on, by the way, in die Backline. Schön, wunderschöner Pillar. Wunderschöner Pillar von Raptor.
They want to continue on this one, but
I think he should be able to drift into the mid lane here.
Yeah.
If they tried to stay, he would have been able to disrupt the follow-up fight, but now he's just going to get this guaranteed crash. The punish is so difficult. We'll see. Showmaker has ult.
Oh, Raptor?
He's in a little bit of trouble. Really did not want to flash there. Looks like it just barely came up right now. But he's not going to have to use it.
And just like that, though, I mean, simply put,
CDR-Boots auf
like
Renekton.
that, the lead is gone for D+. And it all starts with this fight. We came in a
Success.
little bit late here. Career was aggressively warding this brush, and Raptor just ults him and kills him. It's just that simple. Clear is also so difficult to kill at this stage. And watch the ultimate when it comes down here from the Ziggs in this fight. We're just too early in the game. And the Aurora ult is there, but he's alone. And it's just like, what can you hope to actually do in skirmishes this early into this draft? Like, even when their ults were down, you didn't have full control. Career dies early. They give over the Herald. The crash comes through. They can't get the punish. And B&K starting to pick up some nice advantages here.
So. Kennen wir das Konzept von Objective abgeben oder müssen wir fighten ohne Wukong Ulti? Kennen wir das Konzept von abgeben? Mit TP Disadvantage?
You know, coming back in this game is looking really good for them with the Rise and the Ashe on their team. A nice amount of scaling there. But DK, I mean, that was their opportunity.
Nein, kennen wir nicht.
Theirs, but not quite, as we're gonna have a fight.
Wunderschöne Hardengation. Okay. Okay, und da ist ein fettes Krokodil. Oh mein Gott, Shivu.
To the Renekton, as Clear is going to have to pay for their sins, whereas the rest of B&K still on the run. We have DK on the chase here. They're looking to hide on Bush and maybe get that going, but they do. Two for B&K and hiding on Bush. The best.
May not be here in Hong Kong, but his legacy still remains.
Mit der Turret ist down.
In this moment, DK have no choice but to follow. They cannot just simply give this Drake up and let them get out. It's 3 kills the opportunity, but unfortunately, and Smash
is tot, oder?
here. Mason will be dead.
I think he's just dead. Nowhere for him to go. Vikla is unstoppable. 5-1 on the right. He's 2,000 gold plus ahead of his opponent.
And in this fight, he's the one who does the majority of the damage as Diablo is collapsed on here. So much is used to kill the AD carry. And the Renekton, who shows
Weiß nicht.
mid-fight.
Ich glaube immer noch irgendwie, dass DK Fights Sideline auf jeden Fall mal gewinnen sollte. Ich weiß nicht.
Just so incredibly difficult to kill. And even though Vikla's on low health, he is just pumping damage constantly. And then here the call is made. Look at the ult for the Seraphine. Kellen gets it at this.
Boah, das ist unlucky. Also das ist übelst unlucky Timing natürlich, dass der Jon gerade mit dem E reinläuft, ne? Übelst unlucky Timing.
The back-breaking moment. And this is just insult to injury. A Smash gets over the wall, but still gets rune prisoned and is taken down. As this lead is exploding now for BNK. Double what it was moments ago, but the map control is real.
Look at Lucid in a lot of trouble on the
Oh mein Gott.
That was a big
Oh mein Gott.
And he nearly just dies straight up to Smash.
Meanwhile, turret,
yeah.
so
Also okay, also
good barrier from Diablo.
vielleicht bin ich delusional, aber ich finde die Position für DK immer noch nicht schlecht so.
The knife's edge
Überhaupt nicht schlecht.
of Yone's sword right now. It's such a thin margin.
But it's every fight that you see is so decisive one way or the other. Every single moment you feel like, okay, this is the control has been given, but then there's an outplay on the other side, or in some cases a bit of an overextension.
Yeah,
You can see the lead for Shiu in terms of
2000 Gold jeder auf Price, aber das ist ein Problem.
is now really caught up, and it's just about
Jesus.
5%, 8% behind him in experience.
nearly a full level ahead of Yone.
Aber guter.
And
Boah.
he did not finish.
Oh.
It's on, okay.
Ich meine, das ist Double TP ab bei DK.
Go for this in 20 minutes.
Both of their soul laners in bottom lane have TP.
Yeah, it's on vision. I mean, they saw this happen.
Kein TP noch von Shivu.
TP's going to be used. Only one of them.
Gut.
So they
Sehr
use
gut.
one, and that stops them from taking the.
Sehr gut.
Well, I say that.
Shiu does commit his anyways.
Aha.
Now we're gonna have the dredge line in onto the trundle. The arrow hits
Oh,
somebody inside.
Raptor ist tot, oder?
Super deep.
Close.
The damage, but now out of position.
Okay, it's fucked für DK.
Doesn't have his.
Oh my days.
Smash down the bottom.
Oh my days.
Gone. And BNK will get something for the troubles.
I mean, at the end of the day, these are the types of problems we raised when we were looking at these compositions. How difficult it is for D+
Unfortunate, da waren, also,
to the play and make that
ich glaube, Raptor, da sieht anders aus.
when they're so heavily melee. It's very challenging, and even the Aurora, who isn't melee, has to do so much upfront burst at low range to be relevant.
Enchanter gewinnt,
in this
das
fight.
sieht auf jeden Fall wirklich aus.
Boundaries, so the burst is not as strong as it otherwise could be in this game. So like, watch this fight break out. D+ are
Weil ich dachte, dieser Fight hier ist winnable für DK.
career goes in initially, but how do you actually fight this from here? Showmaker has to go in alone. Where's the follow-up damage? There just isn't any. I think Showmaker should have played this slower. Kellen also, by the way, incredibly patient in this fight. Just waits, holds his ultimate. He's like, I'm just going to make sure the fact that I don't ult means that Showmaker's the only ones going in. Now they're split up. And he uses it to clean up the kill there at the end, but there was just no real angle for D+, no opportunity for Shiu to make a big play. And if fights keep going like this, the lead will continue to grow. 40 seconds until this next dragon, and D+ do have control over the bottom side of the map to a pseudo extent here around this red buff. I mean, obviously Clear is pushing out that bottom wave, but they can try to collapse onto him, and that could be a big opportunity for the dragon. It's going to Hex Gate out instead.
DK kennt das Konzept von Geben nicht, die werden hier fighten.
And his Trundle has a frozen heart.
Yeah, I think from ahead, this comp is just so oppressive. And
Good play.
Shiu, standing
Good.
on vision, doesn't know it. And gets caught in a really rough spot. I
The
mean,
vision
that's
game.
the worst timing as well. We just realm warp into the Baron pit, they say.
The Vision game has been
What are you gonna do?
insane for BNK this series. They have wards everywhere. They're always watching you.
Their Baron damage is really strong. Even
insane.
the Trundle and the Ashe Rise goes without saying. You see
Müssen
Lucid
für den Stil gehen, na, aber wie?
go for it. He's gonna have to
Mit
pull
6 Ulti wahrscheinlich.
smites just like he did against Owner.
Oh.
Damage does come down as
Okay.
they wait for Diablo, but Diablo
Oh, die haben keinen Damage, okay. Moment, die haben keinen Damage.
they do get the kill on a
Jesus, das ist sad.
not the best of spots. Smash kind of pulling.
Ne, wieder gestoppt dann Ding, aber das ist...
Bars is gonna push them off the objective.
So it ends up being a trade here. Trade up for BNK with a kill on Shiu, but
Das kann nicht so schlecht sein für... Das geht gar nicht, das kann nicht so schlecht sein für DK. Also diese Fights können gar nicht so schlecht sein. Es war 4 gegen 5, by the way. War 4 gegen 5. Ohne Nautilus-Hook, der trifft.
And this means that Lucid is completely uncontested as it goes on to Diablo. And Diablo's health bar being low is the biggest problem here. Is Clear tried to trade his life bar to then give him the opportunity.
Actualizer ist jetzt fertig, das ist ein Problem.
And the Dragon is not taken by D+. They were unable to do so, and now they're going to fight.
Der fertige Actualizer, Junge, wir contesten den Drake wieder. Okay. Huh. Warte mal. Wartet mal.
And Vikla is still, I mean, look, he was massively ahead. He's still 1,000 gold ahead in this game. But you're not so ahead that you can just walk into 5.
Wartet mal.
So forced.
Extremely. And D+ are like, all right, well, maybe the Knife's Edge is digging into BNK now. As this is just
Face Rush Nerfs. Auch so krank. Und nicht weg vom Platz.
Tries to look for the 1v1 against Shiu, which is ultimately a 1v5 because he is alone and all of D+ were right there.
Yeah, I can understand, you know, Vikla, he feels extremely strong. He had Actualizer as well before he died.
Weil er geht LDR.
I will blow anyone up that tries to face check me. But the rest of your team wasn't there, and you need more tools to get all of the threats of DK off of you. And if DK come together and they burst you down, like, what are you gonna do? So
I think his idea is if I kill one person and I barely live, or even trade.
Dieser Renekton sieht auch so fucking useless aus, oder nicht?
or even chunk one person out.
Soll den Model Miner kann auch gehen.
It didn't work that way. They weren't close enough to help bail him out of that.
Aber das ist so viel. Ja.
And Baron is still not taken, right? Dragon goes over to D+. We're 2 Drakes apiece.
Ich sag, dieser State für DK ist nicht schlecht. Ohne Witz.
Still exists for D+, but they've kept the game interesting. This Wukong has been the
Problem ist wirklich, dass Rise Level 16 ist mit Actualizer.
for Diablo, who's getting stronger by the moment, has IE, has his third item.
Yeah, I mean, the Ziggs as well. Like, we haven't talked too much about Smash, especially when he's aggressively satcheling and then just dying immediately. Not too much to talk about there. But when he hits his ults onto these people, like, they're all squishy enough. Like, you don't want to hit the Renekton, but that amount of burst...
Und Diablo hat kein Flash. Oh, spotted.
Is spotted. He's just gonna go right on in because he doesn't have anywhere else to go.
Oh mein Gott, Smash ist tot. Oh mein Gott.
And the Rise incredibly strong right now, and that is what Vikla is capable of on this pick when he is very fed. Is now gonna go.
Oh mein Gott, und der W drauf. Oh nein, 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 nein. Oh nein, 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 nein.
Trying to 1v1 Vikla. I don't know about that one, buddy. As the map is falling apart.
Oh weia.
And maybe now BNK can take the Baron.
It looks likely. There's just no one to stop them.
Oh weia. Wie gesagt, der Play ist wahrscheinlich sogar nicht schlecht, wenn Lucy dann nicht gespottet wird.
You need to be able to get, like, if you can set this up where Smash is there and you can satchel somebody or Career's a little bit closer, then I'm
So, wenn er da nicht gespottet wird,
in this case, he
ist der Play sogar okay wahrscheinlich.
disconnected from the rest of his team. Vikla says no to Smash. You cannot join. You're not going to be a factor here. And just like that, BNK look at losing the same way I am, kind of going, what was your plan here?
Wow, der Q3, nee, hat der Q3 getroffen?
Setup, and Diablo just sidesteps, but even if he gets the kill here, don't know how much it really turns the tides of this game. At least it might have slowed the Baron that is almost certainly already smote in live.
Yeah.
230 on that, and the power play is taking BNK.
Und ja, Diablo flasht gleich wieder ab.
Up to a 4K lead here.
Riesenproblem.
To really squeeze D+ out of the rest of this game.
Yeah, they definitely have the tools to do so. It was really unfortunate to watch Smash in that last fight. He's trying to follow up on this very, like, ragtag forced engage from the team, from Lucid, trying to get that flank, and then he just runs straight into Rise, not realizing it. Like, he's got his map, he's got his vision on Lucid, and he just runs straight into Rise and dies. Like, it's little or big mistakes like that that are going to get you in trouble. And obviously, Rise can be difficult to get away from when he ghosts at you, but it needs to be a little bit cleaner from DK if they're going to have a chance in this game. But now, might be a little bit too little too late.
That's a Renekton with half a Fury bar. He's not too worried about getting dredge-lined.
Seekers by FuryX.
Insane amounts of damage to turrets as well, and has this Baron buff on his side. They're just winning all three parts of this in the 1-1-3, so to speak, here with a three-man in bottom lane.
Oh, shoot. Okay, well, he's desperately trying to clear the cannons, and instead he cleared his own health bar. So, yeah, maybe they're trying to collapse here on the bottom side, but everything is seen.
The vision game, again, for BNK is just, they're doing their due diligence everywhere. They leave no stone unturned, and so this Wukong flank is just caught out immediately.
TP behind.
Looking for a TP flank, that's out of vision.
I mean, yeah.
In the front part of this fight, as they are going to
Diablo Flash ist insane.
and immediately Showmaker just dies.
Aber er ist tot, oder? Ja. Das ist ein Taui für Lucid. Oh mein Gott, da kommt Wickler. Oh je, da kommt Thanos. Wait, die haben gegrieft. Das Problem ist, dass Thanos immer noch am Leben ist.
You didn't have to do that.
They didn't have to. I don't know if it really matters that much, though.
Just like game 1.
And in this moment, Diablo's flash
Kein Flash auf Ash.
feels like it's the last potentially tense moment in this game, where they want to follow up. He flashes this, it's done.
Gut von Kellen gespielt wieder.
By Showmaker, there's no follow up anyways. And Vikla, yes,
Sehr gut von Kellen gespielt.
practically the fountain in this one, but he has Zonias. It doesn't matter. Clear is so big that even though Smash dies, he absorbed everything, did so much damage with Vikla anyways, and this is just a compositional difference, I think, with less
Gut fertig.
less peel.
Gut fertig beim Bombenleger.
Playing like this would have gotten them punished way more severely, but they can kind of just do whatever they want at this point. There's too many outs, there's too many freebies, and this should be sole point for them as well.
Ex-Optics.
They have the inhibitor on the other side, like they were already saying, like, we got Baron, we use
Boah, mein Junge ist ein Piece of shit.
for the Dragon guaranteed, where you have to deal with the top wave.
Yeah, on the side of BNK, like, we talked about this draft-wise, if you get behind against Seraphine Trundle, you don't get to, like, play team fights on your own pace. Like, DK, I feel like, have been lucky, and they've been proactive, at least in the early to mid parts of the game, to make some plays. But the second BNK kind of lock things down, they play a little bit safer, and they, you know, get a lead. It just feels almost impossible. There's no flank angle for Lucid. Showmaker's running in a straight line at them. By the way, 3 levels behind Vikla right now. So the Yone's not really having any angle. And yeah, you got like a nice flank in the last one, and honestly, the fight was closer than I thought it was going to be, but they also dove the turret. So again, it didn't have to be like that. And I think BNK, after that happens, are playing a little bit more respectfully now.
Yes.
At least they haven't dove any turrets in the last 2 minutes, so.
There's no Baron buff. There is no objective.
Yeah.
There's no Otacon.
Wait, where'd he?
It's been gone for a little while, Valdez.
Oh.
We said
I see.
We said best of luck in your future endeavors at Kespa Cup, and he hasn't come back since. This is now for BNK just utilizing vision control. Like, this is one of those patience tests that you have when you have a lead like this at 31.5 minutes in, where there's nothing to take.
Ja, Mortal Miner 40. Nash ist in einer Minute. Ich weiß nicht.
5 and end the game. Just have to continue to play through vision and set traps and make sure that D+ can't get back into the game.
Boah, es kriegt einem.
You just keep farming and you go, well, our Ziggs is getting stronger.
Ach, du meinst noch AI danach? Oh.
Behind, but that means less and less every 5
Ja.
minutes that passes. And you just
Lass ihn mal machen.
You just have to hope that BNK
Die haben, Ion und Yasuo haben einen Crit zu AD-Converter, wenn die overcappen.
2.5. It's on the same side of the map as the Baron, so you can clear that while also grouping to challenge Baron. It's not a great position for D+. It's a really rough one. It is nigh unplayable. However, the fact that the Nexus still stands, the fact that 2 inhibitor turrets are still up, means that they can give this one more big fighting chance. Lucid is going to have his flash relatively soon. And he has
Ja, der Six ist strong.
so between
Oder ist das Diablo Flash? Ah, wohl für den Nash ist er nicht ab.
if they are
Danach.
not respectful, again, BNK could toss this game away. I wouldn't predict it. In fact, it's hard to imagine it. But there's still hope here if you're a D+ fan.
Yeah. Always hope until the Nexus explodes. We learned that multiple times, even in this exact LCK Cup, amongst multiple teams. As they're going to try to arrow in SU, but just a little bit faster than Diablo expected.
Luckily for him, he's level 16, and that arrow will be back pretty quickly. As Lucid, again, he's the main character here in terms of setup engagement. They're just going to jump over the pit wall
Nash gone.
and start the Baron. They have so much vision.
Die fighten für Soul, oder? Die können nicht für Nash fighten. Die werden für Soul fighten.
And
Oder?
Lucid's like, well,
Die müssen für Soul fighten, das ist nicht
maybe
Nash.
I can get, no, I can't get past the Renekton. There's the root, there's the Baron. Goes over to BNK.
And they passed the patience test I was talking about. They played it well, they played aggressively, they found their angle, they get the Baron with no risk. They made it a zero-risk Baron. And that doesn't
Best Case für die wahrscheinlich irgendein Open Space Fight.
previous years with this squad, but here in 2026, this
Best Case für die ist irgendein Open Space Fight.
know
Wahrscheinlich
how
mal
to
sehen.
play the vision game. They know how to play patient and measured when it's required of them. And that's exactly what they did. Is there is no cross map, there is no cross play here. There's no Dragon to tie us up 3-3 here for D+. They just have to let that Baron go and get ready to defend it.
Yeah, the Baron push will come in, and I think this time there are a lot of flank wards actually in mid, so got to be careful about that. But and also that, don't run straight into the Ziggs bomb, but you can still siege until the Dragon comes up and then try to get Hextech Soul and win the game off of that. That should be the safest way to lock this one down. And for D+K, I mean, again, you're going to have to rely on flanks. I would imagine with the TPs coming in, they have a lot of flank wards, even on the bottom side of the map. And besides that, I don't really see a good angle. Vikla going to take a bunch of damage, but runs straight up to the soul and says,
Jesus fuck.
Flashes
Well
in
played.
and takes him out. Showmaker no longer on the rift, as in will go Raptor, Lucid getting bullied away. And these two inhibitors...
Zeigt aber, das normale erste Item ist sehr strong.
Third to follow as well.
Auf jeden Fall.
Maybe they say, well, we don't even need to play around the Dragon. We can just end this game right here.
They have so many Baroned up cannon minions. It's just an insane siege.
Der ist tot, oder?
So much
Nicht?
space.
Okay.
And I think BNK are
Also, er muss jetzt Harder Edge kommen, ne? Lucid.
Valdez, a very dominant start to the series.
Looking fantastic
Lucid.
so far in the first couple of wins. Not very close in these two games. As maybe they get Raptor, but they will not get the game.
GG.
2-0. That does go to BNK Fear X, as they want a ticket to Brazil, and they